Sorry, the poster is right in front of the computer. I'm just trying to put it up on the big.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thing.
No worries.
Okay.
I have something to share anyway, which is stop it. So on the screen, there's going to be my representation of the board too. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I'm not sure where I am here. I need to stop the share. There I am. Can y'all see me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I can't tell when I'm screen sharing if you can. I'm going to put it on speaker view like that. And I'm going to go to, okay, where are you here? There. Now, I'm wondering if you can see the board on the screen.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So I have now figured out how to put the board on the screen so it's not so far away. So I know the board that you have has an extra moon on it. So because sadly all the paperwork that I mailed to you for this board never showed up. So anyway, we're going to talk about the moons. So the first part of this is going to be about the moon's phases. So that's going to be the one up here, right there, talking about the phases of the moon. But first of all, did anybody ever, as a kid, enjoy the moon, talk to the moon, notice the moon? Did any of you really enjoy knowing when the moon was full and remember stories about the moon? Just curious.
Any stories you guys remember about the moon?
No, but I know I always liked to see it. I always talk to it.
Did you talk to the moon?
Yes.
Great. Did it talk back?
It didn't talk back to me though.
Okay. I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. I was a only child growing up, so I had, when the moon would shine through my window at night as a little girl, I really enjoyed talking to the moon as well. I felt that there was a smile in the crater of the moon, and I very much enjoyed it. So right now, on this day, we are in the new moon, and the new moon is on the other side, which means we can't see it from the earth. So a new moon is dark. In astrological worlds, a moon is always in an astrological sign. And right now it's the new moon in Capricorn. And the new moon in Capricorn, although we can't see it, the new moon always has energy to it. And anyone who is in some kind of business or busy with other people, if you pay attention to it, it can help. So I had a business meeting before our meeting, and it talked about the moon is in Capricorn. It's a new moon in Capricorn, which is a sign of the zodiac. And it says it's a practical sign that will help us approach our hopes and dreams for 2021 in a rational, responsible way. Use the energy of the new moon to create a to-do list for upcoming year, setting your personal, professional, and relationship goals in place. So I hope that is in effect as we go into the Joe Biden being inducted into being a president. I hope that's all in fact. So the phases of the moon, it starts with the new moon, and on the side here on the right says the new moon, and the new moon, it's a reflection of it's dark. So you can see the earth there and the various reflections on the sun. Believe it or not, I got this information from NASA, and I heard that one of you guys used to work for NASA. Is that right? Somebody there?
Doris,
What?
you used to work for NASA?
Yeah, I used to work for NASA.
And so the information that I pulled this from is from the NASA website. So it talks about the new moon on the right. And then when it starts to get larger, it's called waxing. So when it's growing larger, with what we can see, we have the fingernail moon up there on the up top right. It's called the waxing crescent. And then when it's halfway, it's called the first quarter. I'm just sort of going around the moon there. And then it's waxing gibbonous. And then it becomes full. So when the moon is full, it's when it's at its brightest and we could see it, and it lights up through my window. And then when it starts to go back to being a new moon, it's called waning. So as the moon wanes, it goes into its third quarter, and then it goes into waning crescent, and then back to new moon. It does this every month of the year, or every 29 or 28 days. So that's what this board shows, the one you have in front of you, and then the one I have up on the screen. And then there it is in the sky, how it looks. So it says the moon changes shape each night. Some it looks like a crescent, and other it looks like a circle. And other nights you might not be able to see it. These are called phases of the moon. So the moon does not produce its own light. And there's only one source of light in our solar system. You know what the one source of light is? Anybody? Hello?
Yes, the sun.
Yep. Without the sun, our moon would be completely dark. And what you have heard referred to as moonlight is actually sunlight reflecting off the moon's surface. The sunlight comes from one direction, and it always illuminates or lights up one half of the moon, the side that is facing the sun, and the other side is dark. So the way we see it from the earth is not the way the moon sees it. So we just talked about the new moon and the different sizes of the moon. So a full moon means the side of the moon facing the earth is lit up by the sun. On your board, is there the three colors that I asked her to put on the board? There's the three colors. There's red, and there's blue, and then there's yellow. You have those three colors put up there on the board?
Yes.
Mine's underneath my owl here. And the various phases of the moon, the full moon occurs when the side of the moon is facing the earth, is fully lit up at the sun. So all moons don't look the same. Sometimes the moon can glow red, and time it can appear larger. So there's a red moon up there, and it's called the blood moon. It's based on the red glow. And the red glow, the blood moon, occurs during a total lunar eclipse. And so during a total lunar eclipse, the earth will line up between the moon and the sun, And then this hides the moon from the sunlight. And then the only light that reaches the moon's surface is from the edges of the Earth's atmosphere. And the air molecules from the Earth's atmosphere scatter out the blue light, and then the moon will appear with a red glow. And they call it the blood moon. And sometimes it appears red because of dust or smoke or haze, and can be one of the full moons of autumn. A supermoon is when it appears larger than a usual moon in our night sky. It's actually just a nickname for what astronomers called a perigean full moon, a moon that is full and at its closest point in its orbit around Earth. So the red moon is the blood moon, the yellow moon is the harvest moon, and the blue moon, you know what a blue moon is? You ever heard the saying once in a blue moon?
Yeah.
A blue moon is not blue in color. What it means is there's an extra moon in the same month. So last October, we had a blue moon and a harvest moon. The harvest moon was on October 1st, and the blue moon was on October 31st. So a blue moon isn't blue at all. It's just the second moon in the month. And I'll have to find out if we have any blue moons coming this year. So the other term is harvest moon, and that refers to the full bright moon that occurs closest to the start of autumn. So who do you think used the moonlight in the old days? Any guesses? The farmers used the moon in the old days. Before electricity, they depended on the moonlight to harvest their crops late into the night. And the moon's light was particularly important in the fall when the harvests are the largest. So now we're going to talk about NASA and the mission to the moon. NASA launched a spacecraft named the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter to study the Earth's moon. And they studied the surface of the moon. Last year, this is a trivia about the moon, they went back to the moon and they literally found water in one of the craters of the moon. That's very exciting because it means that there is some type of life maybe to be had on the moon. So the farmers named the full moons. Now, I'm not sure what moons you have there, but I know that Christy was going to put up the December moon, and that's called the full cold moon, because that's the longest night moon. That one's up there, right? I can't see your board, so I'm not sure what you're looking at.
Yeah, we have the full cold moon, the full wolf moon, full snow moon.
And the crow.
Yes. And then we have it's like an orange one. I think it's kind of like your top one where your mouse is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all that's coming in the mail, by the way.
That's so weird.
I mailed it Friday, and it was just a 9x12 envelope, and it had all these in it. And so that's why she wound up printing them out.
Yeah.
So the board for next week is in the mail already. I put it out this morning, and it's the oceans of the world. And I completely did it. So it'll be there Saturday.
Okay, cool.
And it's in a tube. It's the other way. All right, so what we're going to talk about is the wolf moon full snow moon is the moon for January. So do we know when the moon is full in January? I have a moon book here. Yes, on January 28th, we will have a full snow moon. And the full moon names, they came from the Farmer's Almanac. And it comes from a number of places, but the Native American, colonial American, and European sources, traditionally each full moon name was applied to the entire lunar month in which it occurred, not to the full moon itself. So January's full moon, oh, okay, here it is. January's full moon is the full wolf moon. So it's over here, mine is over here on the board, is the full wolf moon. Okay, from the Farmer's Almanac. And wolves were more often heard howling at this time. That's why they called it the full wolf moon in January. It was traditionally believed that wolves howled due to hunger during winter. But we know today that they howl for other reasons. Anybody want to howl like a wolf? Whoop, whoop, whoop. I don't know how to howl like a wolf. Ow, ow. Howling and other wolf vocalizations are generally used to define the territory, locate pack members, reinforce social bonds, and coordinating hunting. So we call it the full wolf moon, even though all of January is called wolf moon. So it's the month of the wolf moon. If you were an Indian or a farmer, you would call it the month of the wolf moon. Another name for a January full moon is old moon. And I think it's fun that every month has a moon, a name of a moon. So the other one, which I thought it's February. So I did the month because I wanted to see February. So here's February on the screen now. It's the full snow moon. And that will be on February 9th. It will be this, oh no, that's next year. Last year. February 27th. February 27th, we will have the full snow moon. The second full moon of the year is referred to as the snow moon, a month often with the largest accumulation of snow. There are other names for this moon. Now, it depended on what part of America or Europe that the farmers were in based on how they named the moons. Some of the other names for the moon, for the February moon is the storm moon, the hunger moon, the bone moon, and the suckerfish moon. So as you can see, depending on what was going on in the world, their world is how they named the moon. For example, in last September, the full moon was called the full sturgeon moon. Does anybody know what a sturgeon is? Yeah, it's a fish. And so they named the September moon the sturgeon moon. The Algonquin Indians of around the Great Lakes, because during the month of September was when the sturgeon had a lot more sturgeon to fish from the lakes. So here's the full moon in September, and the Indians are fishing for their food in the rivers, in the lakes, the Great Lakes. And that's why they named the moon. So you can see the moon was named after what was going on. And then this was published in the Farmer's Almanac. And that's where I got this information. So February was a month of cold, dark, scarcity, and short days. And these were very difficult times because food resources were low. In our lives today, we forget the importance of this time of year and our connection with nature because we're mostly focusing on celebrations while we miss the greater importance of the season. So February's full moon represents the second chapter of a new year. It represents the time to come out of our rest. It's a time where our intentions for the year began to manifest, and with it, a new season at spring. It's new beginnings. February is new beginnings. So the early Native Americans didn't record time by using calendars. They kept track of time by the moon, by the seasons and the lunar months. So for some tribes, the year contained 4 seasons. Others had 5 seasons. Some tribes defined a year as 12 moons, while others assigned it 13. So they didn't have calendars. So it's very interesting. It wasn't that long ago that they kept records of the moon for how they planted. So the last moon in the list is the Crow moon. Now this is March, so we're not in March, we're still in February, we're still in winter time, but this is the Crow moon. And I just loved the picture of the crow flying over the moon. We have a lot of crows in our area. I don't know if you guys see a lot of crows, but I have a lot of crows in my neighborhood. And although this is not the only name of the moon for March, the other moons are sap moon and worm moon. The crow moon I thought was cool because the crows make this noise. Caw, caw, caw. They make a noise that is basically welcoming spring. The northern tribes called it the full crow moon. And that's when the cawing of the crows actually signaled the end of winter. Or they also called it the full crust moon because the snow covered became crusted from thawing. The other was the full sap moon, marking the time of tapping maple trees. So that was in New England, so the northern Indians. And then they published this information about the names of the moon. They published it in the Farmer's Almanac, which then was published. So there's lots of names for the full moon, and that's the name of the month. So I was born in the month of August, so that would be called the grain moon or the sturgeon moon. When were you born, Doris? What month were you born?
Doris,
Yeah,
what month were you born?
February.
Oh, okay. So you're born under the wolf moon. You can remember that you were born under the wolf moon or the snow moon or the hunger moon. So everybody was born on a certain month, and so they all can't call the moon by the name listed in the Farmer's Almanac. How about you, Jeannie? What month were you born?
September.
September. Okay, so that's called the fruit moon, harvest moon, or the corn moon. Yeah, full corn moon. And they loved that because that was harvest time, and the lighter the moon was, the better they did. So, is anybody used to go camping and use the light of the moon to walk around in the woods or to walk on the beach? Anybody used to go camping?
Yes.
Yes?
We did a lot of camping.
Yeah? Do you remember when the moon was full, it would light your way?
Well, we never walked around at night.
You never did, huh? You just stayed in the camp?
Yeah, we stayed in the camp and we had campfire, but we didn't go walking around the area.
Yeah.
There were a lot of rattlesnakes and stuff, and we didn't like to walk when we couldn't see.
Oh, yeah. No, but our rattlesnakes aren't out during the day, are they? I guess you wouldn't want to take chances anyway.
I don't know when they were out there. We sure didn't want to walk around the time.
Right. So right now, if the moon, if the sky was clear, it's not been very clear. It's been very cloudy here in Petaluma. If we were to look up in the sky at night, you couldn't see the moon because it's a new moon, and you're going to start to see a crescent in a couple days. But I think it's very fabulous that the moon, that the moon and the sun go around our Earth. I love looking up at the stars. I also believe that we all came from stars originally before we got down here. And we will go back to the stars too someday. So
we always tried to find the big dipper and the small dipper.
Yeah, the stars. We did. We talked about the stars a couple months ago. We did the stars. I like that. So anyways, Happy New Year, you all. I hope you're safe and sound and warm and toasty and having a good January so far.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry about that screw up with the board. I wasn't sure I was going to do a class until Chris called me, and then I got my stuff off and it never came. I'll be curious if it ever comes.
I know. Yeah. So weird.
I guess if maybe I put the zip code on wrong. I mean, I know I had a lot of postage on it. It had all the pictures and it just didn't work. So anyway, next week. Is it next week? Yeah, it's next week. It's 1 o'clock and we'll do Oceans of the World.
Sounds good.
And that's a real pretty board I made you, and it's on its way. I did all the glue up, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it was fun. I did it last night because I wanted to get it mailed out. And the post office was super nice, and she says, would they have a special bin just for Cloverdale?
Oh.
So.
Wow.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
All righty. Bye.
I was surprised she didn't mention the men landing on them.
What did she say?
That you were surprised, or she was surprised you didn't mention the men landing on the moon.
I was at NASA when they landed on the moon, and every building,
Wow.
nobody was working. They were always looking at the TV waiting to see them land.
That was very exciting. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. You're right. That was really cool. I remember right where I was when that happened.
Well, and we got to hear they're talking to the controls too, because that was kind of broadcast through the area.
Well, they did send somebody back to the moon last year, and they did find water, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah.
So.
But I remember the guy stepping out of the aircraft or whatever it was and putting his foot down and said, "A foot for mankind," when he put his foot on the ground, the moon.
Then didn't he put a flag on the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Who was that? Do you remember who that was?
I think Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, I think so. That was quite phenomenal.
Yeah. He said they were all afraid that if they bounced around, they'd probably fly off. They had those leather shoes that were really heavy, hold them down on the moon's surface.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. I saw, yeah, they had real heavy shoes so they wouldn't fly away.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we're still going into space. I know it costs a lot of money, but I think it's very important to explore space.
I know, and NASA has really had a bad time with people saying they're wasting money because they're doing this kind of exploration.
Well, I don't know. I think exploring the heavens is a good thing.
Well, I do too. The more we get to know, the better off we are.
Right. I think there's lessons to be learned on other planets. I still think that. I don't think the Earthlings are the be all end all. I think there's other things going on beyond the Earth that we have yet to discover. And why not explore?
Is NASA trying to put something together to explore the other planets?
Yeah, they're trying to go to Mars.
Yeah.
Mars is their next goal. I'm gonna Google it. Where is NASA gonna go next? See what it says. NASA will continue to work by moving forward to the moon with astronauts landing on the lunar South Pole by the year 2024.
Wow.
The next NASA mission is working towards launching Artemis 1 in 2021, an uncrewed flight to test the Space Launch System and Orion spacecraft together. NASA will land astronauts on the moon by 2024 on the Artemis 3 mission and about 1 year thereafter.
Wow.
So that's, it says, NASA eventually hopes to send a crewed mission to Mars, but before that, the agency plans to return astronauts to the moon and build a lunar base there. They want to send humans to the moon again by 2024. Those would be the first boots on the lunar surface since the Apollo program ended over 45 years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
SpaceX aspirational goal has been to land the first humans on Mars by 2024. In October 2020, Elon Musk named 2024 as a goal for an uncrewed mission with a crewed mission to follow later. That's SpaceX. That's paid by Musk, the guy who owns Tesla. Okay, so this is interesting. This just came out January 4th on NASA. NASA is gearing up for a busy 2021, looking forward to more explorations. The agency is working towards sending the first woman and next man to the moon in 2024, and will establish sustainable lunar exploration by the end of the decade as part of the Artemis program, while getting ready for human exploration of Mars.
Wow.
And then they go in to talk about COVID. Who wants to hear about that? I don't. How they decided, how they put the health and safety, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, so 2024, stick around. We're going to send a woman to the moon. Woohoo! Yeah, and then we'll have to name what moon that is. So we got to go through the year naming the moons. So we're this, let's see, what are we celebrating? The January moon. We're calling it the wolf moon. So if anybody asks you, it's the full wolf moon this month. Every day it's a day in January is the wolf moon. Why not? So, all right, next week we'll study the oceans. Does anybody know how many oceans there are on the planet, on the earth? It's a big question. How many oceans do we have?
That was Jeopardy question and I don't remember.
I bet it was a Jeopardy question. Did you get it right?
I don't know what it was. I don't know the answer.
It was a Jeopardy question, but I don't remember what it was.
Anyone want to take a guess? I'm not telling. I actually asked my husband, I showed him my board, which is being mailed to you as we speak, because I made a really pretty board of the ocean. And I asked him, and he was a merchant marine, and he answered. He knew the answer. I'm like, I can't believe you knew that answer.
Is it 5 or 7?
Very good, Iris. It's 5.
5.
Oceans. Yep. So we got a plan to name them all and talk about them all. And then I'm going to talk about various beaches around the world that we could go to and visit and get warm and toasty on the white sands. So, all right, you guys, take care. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks.
Stay healthy. Bye.
Goodbye.